Hello everyone. Now I am here to take classes for you, the S7 students of computer science for the subject CS 409 cryptography and network security based on the syllabus under KTU. Okay, so directly in the first video itself, I'm going to take class for you from module 1. Okay, so this is actually the portions which is prescribed in your syllabus based on module 1. Okay, but the thing is that as given in this syllabus, okay, you're not going to directly learn on symmetric cipher models or likewise whatever is given in the syllabus. Okay, we need to study on some basic concepts regarding security, and then only we can go directly to the concepts of cryptography and whatever which is prescribed in your syllabus. Okay, so before going directly to the concepts or otherwise the topics which is specified in your syllabus, you need to study some basic concepts, or otherwise you need to study on some fundamental concepts regarding security. Then only you can go into the details of whatever topics which is prescribed in your syllabus. Okay, so let me tell you one thing. This is actually an image which explains the basic concept which is coming under data communication. Okay, actually data communication is a subject which you have learned in the previous semesters and all. Okay, so actually data communication covers the process of communicating data or information through a network between two different entities. Okay, a sender will be there in one side and the receiver will be there in another side, and with the help of some communication channel or otherwise some communication network, they will be easily able to transfer certain sort of information or data through this particular network from the sender to the receiver. Okay, and actually the sender as well as the receiver will be following certain set of rules which is actually called as protocols, based on which they will be transferring such messages or information through the network. That is, the sender will be following their own set of rules, that is their own set of protocols, and also the receiver will also follow their own set of protocols in order to make the possible communication or otherwise possible transfer of data between the two entities through the network. Okay, so actually in this particular concept, that is in the concept of data communication, you simply focused on how you can transfer data through the network between two different entities or two different persons. Okay, we did not focus anything on how to ensure security or how to maintain privacy while you are doing this particular process. Okay, you simply focused on how to transfer such amount of information, okay, whatever it is, okay, based on different communication channels. That's all you have said in that particular subject. But the thing is that if you want to transfer any confidential data, otherwise any privacy related data through this network, you should not only focus on such data communication subject. You need to be worried on some other aspects also before you go for the direct communication of such a protective data. Okay, so that particular thing you're going to study in this subject. Okay, that is how you can ensure security, or otherwise how you can confirm privacy for your data, okay, before it is being traveled, or otherwise before it is getting transferred through the network. Okay, so actually CNS, cryptography and network security, simply focuses on how you can ensure security to certain kinds of data. That is, only certain kinds of data need to be reached in the receiver side much more confidentially. Okay, some other set of data need not be highly secured, or otherwise it won't be needing, or otherwise it won't be in need of high security and all. Okay, such kinds of data simply can be transferred through the network from the sender to the receiver side. Okay, we should not give, or we need not give any much other emphasis in order to ensure the security for such kinds of data. But on the hand, if you want to transfer data, or otherwise if you want to transfer certain confidential information, okay, through the network to be received in the receiver side, you need to do something else. Okay, you need to do some additional concepts, or otherwise you need to do some additional procedures before it is being transferred through the network, because there is a chance that some other third party can hack your message, or otherwise can view your message. Okay, so what all things you can do in order to make your data secure is actually explained in this particular subject. Okay, so going on to the detail, what is actually computer security. Okay, the security which can be provided to the data or information while it is getting processed in a computer. But the thing is that, you know what is an information system. Okay, information system is a system, okay, which simply involves the transfer of information through the network. Okay, but the thing is that I told you earlier itself, if you want to transfer information which requires high confidentiality or otherwise which requires high privacy or security, then you need to adopt a security system also into this information system. Once more I am telling you, simply if you want to transfer a raw data, otherwise if you want to transfer a data which doesn't require any high confidentiality or high security, you can simply employ a information system or otherwise data communication concept. Okay, but the thing is that if you're going to transfer a data which requires high confidentiality or high security, then surely in addition to this information system, you need to incorporate, otherwise you need to integrate one more system in order to ensure security, and that is called as security system. Okay, so security system itself is needed in order to ensure computer security before you're going to transfer the data from the sender side to the receiver side. You have to note one thing, that such a security system can either be a mechanism or it can be a physical device. That is, it can either be a software or a hardware. You can employ either a software method or otherwise you can employ a hardware method in order to ensure security to the data whatever is being transferred through the network. Okay, so security system, it is not at all compulsory that it must be a software method or otherwise it must be a hardware method. Okay, it can either be a physical device or otherwise it can be a software mechanism or a specific algorithm which will be helping you in order to ensure the security for the data whatever is being transferred through the network. Okay, so that is the security system simply provides a protection for a complete automated information system. With the help of such a security system, either it is a hardware or software method, you must be able to obtain security to the information system, that is the system which helps you to transfer the data from the sender side to the receiver side. The thing is that such a security system, that is either you opt for a software method or otherwise a hardware method, whatever method you opt in order to ensure security with the help of a security system, they must be able to provide three security goals. So what do you mean by security goal? The goals which can be achieved with the help of some security mechanisms or otherwise some security system. Okay, by employing a security system, what all goals can be achieved, that is called a security goal. Okay, so whatever method you opt in order to ensure security with the help of a security system, you must be able to achieve three important goals, and these goals are integrity, availability as well as confidentiality. So these three goals are considered as the security goals which must be able to be obtained with the help of a security system: integrity, availability as well as confidentiality. Okay, so first of all, I'll tell you what is confidentiality. What do you mean by confidentiality? I told you in the beginning of the class itself, you need to be bothered when you're going to transfer a confidential data or when you want to transfer a highly secure data. Okay, on the other hand, if you're going to transfer a data to some person which is standing in the other end, certain data which is not that much confidential, you are not bothering on if a third party is able to view or hear that particular message or data, it is not at all a matter for you. If it is not at all a matter for you, then that means you are simply transferring a data which is not that much highly confidential or which doesn't require any security mechanism before being transferred through the network. If it is like that, then you need not adopt any security mechanism. But the thing is that if you know that you're going to transfer data through the network which is highly confidential, then certainly confidential means highly secured, highly privacy related data. Okay, as that of bank account details, otherwise password related details, like that, such types of data requires high confidentiality. Okay, so whatever methods or whatever mechanism or whatever hardware device you opt in order to ensure the security of your data, okay, that mechanism must be able to obtain high confidentiality to that particular data. Okay, with the help of such a mechanism, you must be able to ensure the confidentiality of the data. That is the first goal that you have to be bothered on. So whatever method you opt in order to ensure security for your system, okay, that system must be able to ensure confidentiality of the data. That is, if you want to transfer a data, okay, that is highly confidential, that you want the data to be read or to be viewed only by the corresponding receiver, okay, then whatever method you opt, okay, that method must help you in order to ensure the confidentiality of the data in such a way that the same data is received by the corresponding receiver alone. no other person, okay, no other system must be able to view your corresponding confidential data, okay. And this confidentiality can either be data confidentiality or privacy. Data confidentiality is what I have told you earlier, that is, you need to preserve the confidentiality of the data, that is, the data is highly confidential. Whatever you are going to send through the network to the receiver, okay, which is specifically intended to be viewed by the receiver, okay, that data is highly confidential, okay. So certain mechanisms can be opted or adopted by you in order to ensure the security, okay. So by employing such a security mechanism, if you are traveling or if you are transferring that particular data through the network, then the corresponding data must be preserved in its original form, that is, it must remain as confidential data, okay, while it's being received by the receiver, okay. And second important concept which is related to confidentiality is privacy, okay, that is, the people whoever is engaged in this particular communication process, the sender and the receiver itself are the peer entities which are involved in this corresponding communication process itself must be authenticated, or itself must be highly confidential persons, okay. So that is, the sender must ensure that the receiver is the correct person, whoever is going to receive the message, and the receiver must itself ensure that the corresponding correct person, the genuine person itself is the sender, and he itself is the originator of the message, whatever is the data being transferred through the network, okay. So that is confidentiality of the data as well as the entities, that is, a person itself must be ensured, okay. So that is what is confidentiality. So the first important goal that must be able to be achieved, or otherwise must be able to be ensured if you are adopting a security mechanism or a security system, is confidentiality, okay. And the confidentiality not only focuses on the confidentiality of the data, but also the confidentiality of the peer entities or the people whoever is engaged in that particular communication process, okay. The second one is integrity, okay, that is the goal, the important goal. The second important goal that must be ensured while you adopt for a security system before you go for the transfer of the data through the network is integrity, that is purity. The word meaning of integrity is simply purity, okay. That is, whatever message or data is being created by the originator of the network, that is the sender itself, okay, in what particular form or whatever is the content of that particular message which is edited or originated or constructed by the sender, in its pure form itself it must reach the receiver, okay. You cannot tell that by adopting such a mechanism, whatever contents was there in the message which was created by the sender got altered or got modified or got fabricated. You should not say like that, okay. So in its pure form itself, that is, how that particular message was created by the sender of that particular communication network, in that exact form itself, in that pure form itself, that message should reach the receiver, okay. There should not be any sort of manipulation that has happened to that particular content of the messages, okay. So that is integrity, which is called as purity. In its pure form itself, the data should reach the receiver. And that too, the integrity can be explained well in terms of two concepts, that is data integrity as well as system integrity. That is, the data in its pure form must itself reach the receiver, that is the data integrity concept. And next one is system integrity, that is the system in which you are working for this particular communication process to happen, that is called as the information system. The information system as well as the security system, okay. Since we are going to employ certain security mechanisms in order to ensure security for our information system, okay, it say that our system is an incorporation work which is carried out by both information system as well as security system, okay. Actually we are not working in a single system, okay. Since we want to ensure security, okay, we will be simply incorporating both the systems, that is information system is there, original instance itself, this information system is there in order to help us to transfer the information simply through the network. Information system is there, but the thing is that in order to ensure security, we are adopting a additional security system, okay. So this information system as well as the security system together must be able to preserve the integrity of the network, that is, whoever is engaging in that particular systems means information system as well as security systems, whoever is actually involved or engaged in this particular systems, the whatever network is there, whatever resources are being used in order to make such a communication more secure and all, okay, whatever is engaged, whatever resources or whatever people are engaged in such systems and all, okay, itself must be genuine, that means they all must be pure, okay. So there are two concepts in which integrity can be preserved, either in the terms of data integrity or otherwise in terms of system integrity. So I told you system integrity is not only related to a particular person or all those persons who are engaged in the systems and all. whatever resources are there in this particular systems and all those resources must be genuine or in its pure form. Okay, so that is integrity. And the third important security goal that you must be able to achieve, okay, while you are employing a security system to your information system is availability. Okay, that is availability means all those resources or all those entities or all those things that you require in order for your smooth communication to occur, okay, must be readily available. Okay, the center can't simply say that he's not going to provide the service which is actually required by the receiver, and the receiver simply can't say that he's not going to receive the message whatever is sent by the sender. Okay, and not only that, the network simply can't get discarded or simply say that the network is not going to be made available for the communication to be made possible between the sender and the receiver. You can't say like that. Okay, so whatever is required, whatever resources are required in order to make the communication possible and in order to make the smooth and secure communication possible, all those things must be made available. Okay, nobody or nothing can be made unavailable which will be simply disrupting the secure smooth communication to happen. Okay, so hope it is clear. So I'm simply saying that the security system summarized view, if I'm saying you, okay, you need to confirm one thing or you need to summarize one thing from these points, that you need to simply employ a security system to an information system to make the communication more secure. So simply if you are going for a data transfer between the network or between the peer entities, you simply can adopt information system. But the thing is that if you want to send secret or highly confidential related data, you need to employ another system also, that is security system. Okay, so security system plus information system will help you to transform or will help you to simply send the secure or confidential data between the peer entities or through the network. Okay, so the security system can either be a software method or a hardware method. Whatever method you are adopting with the help of a security system mechanism, okay, with the help of security system, okay, they must be able to ensure three important goals, that is confidentiality, integrity and availability. That is what I have explained so far. Okay, is it clear? Okay, next another important basic concept that you need to be aware on before going on to the details of cryptography is the various things that need to be bothered on security. Okay, you're saying that you need to be aware on security. If you're going to transfer confidential or highly secure data, you need to be completely aware on, you need to be completely bothered on security. You're saying it frequently. Okay, am I right? Okay, so what does security means? Okay, what all things related to security need to be bothered? Okay, what all aspects of security need to be considered? Okay, so these all things you need to be completely worried on. Okay, don't think security in a single point of view. Okay, security itself is having different angles to be viewed in detail. Okay, only by considering each and every point of view of this security concept, you can directly go on to the detail of security, or otherwise you can employ or afford the corresponding security mechanism which is quite apt for your particular data transfer to be made more successfully. Okay, so what all things need to be bothered before you go for the security related operations and all is that you need to be bothered on security attacks. What are the various attacks that can possibly affect your security? What are the various services that are provided by certain security mechanisms, and what itself are the various security mechanisms? Once more I am telling you, okay, security, what all things need to be bothered related to security means, okay, you need to be aware on what are the various attacks. Okay, what are the various possible attacks that can affect your security, that is the security attacks. The second one is what are the various services that are provided by various security mechanisms and all. Okay, what are the various services they are providing? Okay, and the third one is what are the various mechanisms? Okay, what are mechanisms you can use in order to make your data more secure before it's getting transferred through the network? Okay, so first of all we are going to study on security attacks. So there are actually two ways in which you can classify security attacks. Either in the first classification you can classify security attacks into passive attack and active attack, and there are other ways also. There is a second way of classifying the security attacks that we will study later. Okay, so in this first way of classification you can classify security attacks into passive attack and active attack. So as the name suggests, passive attack simply means the attack is carried out, okay, the attack is done by a third person without affecting the content of the data, that is whatever data is being transferred through the network from the sender to the receiver, okay, that particular data is not corrupted in any form, okay. Simply the third person or the attacker or the forger, okay, whoever is standing in midst of this particular network to simply view the message, he is not going to manipulate or he is not going to modify the data in any particular form, okay. He simply wants to know what is the data, or otherwise he wants to simply know the corresponding details of that data. He is not going to manipulate, or he is not going to actually attack that particular data, okay. So that is passive attack. On the other hand, active attack means rather than viewing the message contents, or otherwise rather than viewing the details of that corresponding message what is being transferred through the network, they will be simply making changes, or they will be simply modifying or making manipulations into that particular data, okay. So the thing is that they are actively attacking that data, okay. They are not passively attacking that data, they are actively attacking the data, and the data will be getting corrupted or will be manipulated in some forms, okay. So that is the difference between passive attacks and active attacks. So what is passive attacks? Actually I told you what is passive attacks, and they are again classified into two, that is release of message contents and traffic analysis. So with the help of various figures I will explain each one of you. Each one of them. Okay, so first category of this passive attack is release of message contents, okay. So the thing is that here in this figure it is clear that Bob is actually standing in the sender side and Alice is standing in the receiver side. Bob is the actual originator of the message, okay. He is actually the person who is creating such a confidential data to be received by Alice, okay. So when it is getting transferred through the network, Bob has created the message and he simply sent that particular message through the network. What does Darth do? Darth is actually considered as a third party, that is he is a real attacker in this network, okay. The Darth simply hacks the message, otherwise Darth simply takes the message from the network and simply reads the message, okay. His actual intention is that in this particular type of passive attack, the actual intention of this Darth or the actual intention of this attacker is to simply read the content of the message. He simply wants to know what they are communicating with each other, okay. He doesn't want to know any other details related to this message. He simply wants to know what messages they are communicating between each other, or what is the actual content of that particular message, okay. So that is release of message contents, okay. Next one, so next specific type of passive attack is traffic analysis, okay. So here what is happening is that when this Bob creates the confidential data or the data which requires high confidentiality, he will be simply sending it through the network to Alice, okay. So while it is getting traversed through the network, Darth simply takes the message, okay, takes the complete message from the network, okay. What does he do is that in this particular type of passive attack, what does he do is that he is not going to give much emphasis or much importance into the contents of that particular message, okay. On the other hand, he wants the details of that messages for some other purpose, okay. The details of the message means at what particular time this message was created by Bob, okay, how frequent they are communicating between each other, what is the duration of their message, okay, what how much lengthy messages they are communicating between each other. Likewise, the details corresponding to that message only is required by this Darth. He doesn't want the actual content of the message. He doesn't want to know what they are communicating between each other. He simply wants to know the details of the message, like whatever I told you earlier, okay. So these are the two types of passive attacks. So in both the cases, the data is not getting corrupted, okay. After getting the corresponding information regarding the data on one or the other form, okay, that simply will be issuing the same message to Alice, okay. So Alice and Alice and Bob, both of them may or may not be aware on actually the attack has happened or not. They won't be aware on whether the attack has happened or not, okay, because Bob has simply sent a message through the network thinking that Alice might have received it, and Alice, once she receives the message, she will be thinking that the messages are directly sent by the Bob itself. No other person has engaged in the network and they have hacked the message. Alice also will not be knowing about it, okay. They won't be aware on actual attack that has happened in midst of this communication process, okay. So that is what about passive attack is explaining. Next one is active attack. I told you, as the name suggests itself, actively they are attacking the data, okay. Not only the details or the corresponding message contents are viewed by the third party, the data itself is getting corrupted by the attacking procedure or processes are carried out. Okay, so the first type of active attack is masquerade. Okay, what do you mean by masquerade? Pretending to be someone else. The word meaning of masquerade itself is pretending to be somebody else. That is, this Darth is the real attacker of this scenario. Okay, so Darth itself is going to pretend that he is Bob. Okay, Darth will simply tell Alice that I am Bob, I am the real originator of the message, and simply he will be sending the message to Alice. So Alice unknowingly, Alice will be believing that whatever Darth has said, and Alice will simply believe that, and she will try to read the message whatever is sent by Darth. Okay, but she will be reading the message thinking that it was sent by Bob. Okay, because Darth simply told that he is actually Bob, and he is actually creating the message to Alice. Unknowingly, Alice will be reading the message which was actually sent by Darth, and thinking she will be reading the message thinking that Bob has created it. Okay, that is masquerade. Okay, so actually the message is getting corrupted, otherwise a fabricated message. Okay, not sent by the real originator of the message, that is the real sender is Bob. Okay, he is not creating such a message, he won't be actually aware on whoever has created the message, or otherwise such a message has received Alice and all. No such instance will be known to be aware for Bob. Okay, so that is masquerade. The second form of active attack is replay. Okay, so replay means what has happened is that when Bob is creating such a message, okay, he will be simply transferring it through the network in the midst of this communication process, or otherwise in midst of the transfer process. Okay, Darth will simply take that message, okay, and this Darth, after capturing the message, okay, after reading the message, or after viewing the details corresponding to that message, he will be simply then leaving that message through the network so as to be received by Alice. Okay, that is replay. That is, he will be simply taking the message, he will be reading it, or he will be extracting the details corresponding to that message, and then he will be replaying, otherwise he will be resending it to Alice. Okay, here also there is chance that such sort of data can get corrupted. Okay, but they are not specifically telling anything in this particular aspect. That is, in this replay process of active attack, they are not saying anything regarding the manipulations or modifications that can occur to the data while it is being processed by Darth. Okay, simply they are saying that whatever data is being sent by Bob, he will be capturing it, he will be collecting all the details, and then he will be replaying, otherwise resending it to Alice. Okay, but the thing is that when we go to the next category of active attack, it is specifically said that not only replaying is carried out, the modification of message is replayed to Alice. That is, whatever data is being transferred from Bob to Alice through the network, in the midst itself, Darth will be capturing that message. Okay, he will be making certain manipulation. That's what they are calling this particular category of active attack as modification of messages. Okay, so Darth will be making certain form of modifications or certain types of manipulations in that particular message, and then he will be replaying it to Alice. Okay, so hope you understood the difference between replay and modification of message. Okay, anyhow, these are the various categories in which you can define the active attack concept. And the last last subcategory of active attack is denial of service. That is, simply the service from the server will be disrupted by the attacker. Okay, only if you are getting the service from the corresponding server, the communication can be made possible between two different entities. That is, if a server want to if a particular sender, that is, in this particular aspect we are considering Bob as a sender. Okay, if Bob wants to send a confidential message or otherwise a simple data to the corresponding receiver, who is Alice in this particular context, okay, they need the complete service which is provided by the server. Okay, if you are not able to get the corresponding service from the server side, then there is no way for you to communicate between each other. Okay, so the attacker simply will be disrupting the connection from the server side. That is, he will be simply obstructing, otherwise he will be simply terminating the services which is provided from the server side. Okay, but the thing is that Bob and Alice won't be aware that a third party have interfered in providing service from the server side. Okay, they will be simply getting the message from the server side itself. Okay, Bob and Alice will be simply getting message from as it is sent by the server side itself, that the server is not able to provide the service currently. Okay, simply in that particular form of message, Alice and Bob will be getting awareness. Okay, so they will be thinking that the server is not temporarily working and they are not able to provide service at this particular moment, but actually the actual server has not given such a message. Okay, the Darth, that is the attacker itself, has provided such a message to both Alice and Bob. Okay, and he simply has taken initiation to disrupt the connection between Bob and Alice, that is simply disrupting the service which is provided by the server. So these are the various ways in which active attacks can be defined. Okay, so I told you earlier itself there are two ways in which security attacks can be classified, and the first one was either by active attacks and passive attacks, and the other ways in which you can classify security attacks is by this particular way, that is interruption, interception, modification and fabrication. Okay, so these are also another ways of which you can classify security attacks. So what is interruption, interception, modification and fabrication? See, in this particular figure you can visualize a simple mode, that means a normal mode in which a communication is made possible, that is the sender will be there, okay, and the receiver will be there on another side. Okay, simply with the help of any particular communication link or channel they will be able to transfer data. Okay, but the thing is that what will happen when interruption occur, that is interruption is one famous security attack. What happens when interruption occur? Okay, interruption, okay, there is interruption in one form, that is here what happens is that an asset or a particular resource, whatever is required for the communication to happen, will be destroyed or made unavailable by the third party. The third party will destroy or make unavailable asset, okay, or make the asset unavailable. That is what I have to say clearly. Okay, that the third person, whoever is trying to hack the particular data, okay, he will be simply destroying that particular resource, or otherwise he will be making that particular resource unavailable for the receiver. Okay, so that is interruption. The receiver won't be able to collect or we won't be able to receive that particular message. Okay, that is interruption. Okay, for example, cutting a particular cable, communication cable or communication link or channel, simply cutting it, okay, it will be interrupted. Okay, the receiver won't be able to get the corresponding information directly whatever is sent by the sender. Okay, likewise disabling the file management system, okay, the system which involves a collection of files, the management of files, the collective operations, whatever is related to that file, is called as a file management system. So simply disabling file management system, you won't be able to access the files or whatever is reside in that particular system. Okay, so that's all about interruption, and these are the various examples in which you can explain interruption. The second way in which you can define or categorize security attacks is by interception. Okay, so what is interception? An unauthorized person, okay, will be gaining access, or otherwise an unauthorized person will try to collect the information whatever is being transferred through the network. That is when information is getting traversed from the sender side to the receiver side through a particular channel, the third party or the attacker will be trying to access them. Okay, okay, so that is unauthorized access. Okay, so that is interception. So I need to tell you one more thing. This interruption is actually an attack on availability. Okay, the interruption is actually an attack on availability, that is whatever resource the receiver is actually waiting for, it is not made available for the receiver. Okay, the receiver is not able to get that particular resource, so it is an attack on unavailability. On the other hand, this interception is an attack on confidentiality, that is an unauthorized person is trying to view or trying to read that particular message, so it is actually an attack on confidentiality. Okay, for example, this wiretapping, the fabrication or copying of files, okay, unauthorized access of files, likewise and all other examples of interception. Okay, then the third one, that is the third category of security attack, is modification. Okay, here the third party or the attacker tries to gain access to that particular resource or the data whatever is being transferred through the network from the sender to the receiver, and not only that, they will be simply reading or they will be simply editing or making or making manipulations to that particular data, that is he will be modifying that data. Okay, in the interception type of attack, okay, simply he will be gaining access, that is simply he will be viewing the message whatever is being transferred through the network. But on the other hand, in the case of modification type of security attack, not only he will be reading or he will be gaining access to that particular resource whatever is being transferred through the network, and also he will be making certain modifications, okay, that is clear in this particular figure. He will be simply capturing that resources, he will be simply capturing the message whatever is sent by the sender, and after making certain manipulations or after making certain modifications only, he will be sending it to the receiver side. The receiver unaware on this particular modification process, he will be simply having a feeling that this information was actually sent by the sender itself. Okay, so that is modification. Okay, for example, he'll be making certain changes in the value of a particular data. He'll be modifying the contents of a message, likewise and all. Okay, for example, if the sender is writing a message, tomorrow there is class. Okay, so this particular message will be received by the attacker or the forger, whoever is standing in midst of this communication process, and he will be simply changing that message into tomorrow there is no class. Okay, he is manipulating that particular message, and then he will be sending to the receiver. The receiver will be actually receiving the message, tomorrow there is no class, but that receiver is not at all aware on this message was not this message was actually sent by the sender side itself. He'll be aware that he'll be thinking that this message was created by the sender itself, and there is no other person who is actually involving in the midst of communication. Okay, next and the last one of the security attacks is fabrication. Okay, here what is happening is that the sender won't create any message, or he is not actually going to transfer any data to the receiver. There is the third person, or the otherwise the attacker itself will be involving or will be starting to send the messages to the receiver, making a feeling to the receiver that he is the sender. Okay, the forger or the third party or the adversary himself, okay, adversary means attacker himself, will be simply creating messages to the receiver, and it will be sent to the receiver, and having a feeling to the receiver that these messages are actually sent by the sender. Okay, the receiver simply will be getting the messages, and he will be viewing the messages, and he will be viewing the messages, otherwise he will be seeing the messages with a feeling that this is actually sent by the real sender itself. So that is fabrication. Simply any particular information will be inserted, spurious messages will be inserted from the third party side or from the attacker side, and it will be sent to the receiver side, but the receiver won't be aware on such a attacker. Okay, he will be simply having a feeling that this message was actually sent by the sender itself, and likewise he will be reading the messages correspondingly. So these are the various ways in which the attacks can be classified. So I told you, you can classify security attacks in terms of two categories. Either you can classify in terms of active attack and passive attack, or otherwise in terms of four other ways of classification, that is interruption, interception, modification and fabrication. Okay, so I told you before going into the details of how you are going to provide security, you need to be aware on various issues or various factors or various concerns of the security. So first of all, we learned on security attacks, that is various attacks that can be affected while you provide security or while you go for the transfer of your data through the network. Okay, so likewise we need to study on the second and third factors. The second one is security services. What are the various services provided by the security system? Okay, for example, if you want to book a room in a hotel, okay, so before going for the booking of that particular room in a hotel, you will be simply having a glance on whatever services are provided by that particular hotel. Okay, simply you will be looking on to what are the various services, okay, what are the various support that they will be providing, okay, before you go for the booking of that particular room. Okay, so if you are fully satisfied with the services whatever they are provided, okay, then only you will be deciding whether to book room in that particular hotel or not. Likewise, whatever security mechanism you're going to adopt in order to make your data secure, okay, what are the various services provided by such security mechanisms or such security systems, you need to be aware on that. Then only you can select the appropriate system for your data security. Okay, so various security services are authentication, data confidentiality, data integrity, non-repudiation, and finally access control. Okay, so simply I will tell you what are these things. Okay, so whatever security system you're going to adopt, they must be able to provide such services. Okay, what are the various services? Authentication, that such security system must be able to ensure authentication, that is authenticated persons only must be involved in such a security system. Authenticity must be ensured, that is the real sender itself must send a message, the real receiver, the original message receiver must itself receive the message. The authenticity of the corresponding system must be ensured. Authenticated people only have to be involved in such a security system, that is authentication. Data confidentiality, I told you earlier itself what is data confidentiality. That is the data in its exact form must be preserved with its high confidentiality if, while it's getting transferred through the network. Data integrity means it is purity, that is in whatever form the data was created by the sender in its exact form, in its pure form itself, the data must reach the receiver. Next one is non-repudiation, that is you cannot deny on your service, that is the sender cannot deny that he won't send the message, and the receiver must not deny that he won't receive the message. That is all those people who are involved in such a communication process, okay, must be able to do their own role or whatever duties or whatever tasks were assigned to each and every one of them. They must be able to provide their service, or they must be able to do their task completely. Okay, they should not deny their service, they should not deny that they won't do this particular task and all. That is non-repudiation. Okay, whatever jobs or whatever tasks are assigned to each and every one of them, whoever is assigned or whoever is involved in that particular communication process, each and every one of them must be able to play their own role. Okay, next one is access control, that is there must be some control in the access of certain resources. Okay, everybody must not be given the direct control of every resources whatever is there in that particular communication system. Okay, there must be some sort of control in the access of certain resources for someone. Okay, okay, so these are the various services that are provided by the security system, and that is called as security services. Next one is security mechanism. So naturally we will be adopting certain security mechanisms or security techniques in order to ensure security for the data whatever is being transferred through the network. So what are the various security mechanisms? It can be symmetric crypto systems, asymmetric crypto systems, as well as hash functions. Like symmetric asymmetric crypto systems means encryption and decryption. Okay, encryption and decryption, that is the data before getting transferred through the network will be encrypted, okay, with the help of either symmetric or asymmetric procedures. Okay, so either you opting symmetric procedure or asymmetric procedure. Otherwise symmetric crypto systems or asymmetric crypto systems, we will be encrypting our message. Okay, we will be encrypting our message, and then only the encrypted message will be made traveled or made transferred through the network, or will be made available through the network to be reached by the receiver. Okay, and not only that, digital signatures can be used, hash functions can be used, and likewise various things various methods or various approaches can be adopted in order to make your data secure. Okay, so there are the various things that is coming under security mechanisms, and to say now, okay, such security mechanisms are going to be studied in detail throughout the rest of the modules. Okay, so that is module 1 to module 6, we are going to study the details of various security mechanisms or the various approaches that can be adopted in order to make your data secured. Okay, so actually we are going to learn on the security mechanisms. So I told you we need to be aware on various security factors or security issues or security concerns before going on to the details of how to or what method to employ in order to make your data secured. Okay, so those such methods or those such concepts were the attacks that can possibly affect your data while it's getting transferred through the network. The second one is what are the various services that must be provided by whatever mechanism you're going to adopt. Okay, that's such security services you studied, and what are the various mechanisms. So actually these mechanisms they are simply listed in its exact form. We are having various sub categories of such mechanisms. Okay, there are symmetric crypto systems. There are various categories of symmetric crypto systems available. There are various categories of asymmetric crypto systems available. There are various categories of hash functions available. Okay, so under these each and every one of these security mechanisms, you are going to study in detail the different subcategories of techniques. Okay, the various types of techniques. Okay, for example, the under the symmetric crypto systems, you are going to have DES and AES and all. Okay, the famous two algorithms which uses the concept of symmetric crypto systems. On the other hand, the asymmetric crypto systems, you are having the concept of RSA, Diffie-Hellman, etc. Okay, so each and every mechanism which is specified here will be studied in detail. That is, the subcategories of each and every security mechanisms will be studied in detail throughout the modules. Okay, so hope you have understood.